Finally, we bring you one woman's powerful testimony about why she believes Planned Parenthood is trying to replace the parent. Here is this week's Pro-Life Focus. People who have been on the inside of Planned Parenthood make up some of the most powerful pro-life voices on the outside of the industry.
Oh, there is so much that goes on behind the scenes that the American population just does not know.
We recently sat down for the first time with the former Planned Parenthood insider, Monica Cline.
I not only worked with Planned Parenthood, I worked with any clinic that received Title X funding.
Cline worked in HIV prevention, comprehensive sex education, and Title X training for over a decade. Though never officially employed by Planned Parenthood, she worked closely with them as a former Title X training manager and volunteer educator, and was trained by them on how to reach teenagers, as she recounts to us.
So as soon as they were telling me all of the horror stories of just the cases of young girls coming into the clinics and their situations and physical situations, I said, okay, you've convinced me. What do I need to do to teach these girls not to have sex? And she patted me on the knee and she said, honey, we're not going to teach them how to stop. We're just going to teach them how to do it safer.
Cline utilized her training with teens at schools and after-school programs when she had an unplanned experience herself.
In that time frame, I was not a Christian. I believed everything that I was taught basically in comprehensive sex education, and I found myself also having unplanned pregnancy. My first thought was to have an abortion because that's pretty much what I was surrounded by. That's what everyone seemed to be doing. And so I called a good friend of mine from college. I said, well, I'm pregnant, but I'm going to have an abortion. And she just started to celebrate the life of my child. Then I started thinking, why am I going to kill my child? And that was the first time I realized that what I was about to do.
Cline never went to her abortion appointment, and she gave birth to her son.
When he became a year old, in that time frame, I suffered from depression. I didn't understand what was happening. I had this little baby. I was cohabitating with my boyfriend, and God called me.
Monica Cline believed God was asking her to go to church, so she did and became a Christian. But her leap of faith affected more than just her Sundays.
Once my life started to change, I started to see my work differently.
Cline continued to work in sexual education, but began realizing her clients needed something abortion clinics couldn't offer. They too needed God. And when Cline took on a new volunteer role at Planned Parenthood, her eyes were opened even wider.
What really changed, though, is realizing that at some point Planned Parenthood was admitting to me that they were aware of statutory rape, they were aware of human trafficking, but they didn't consider it statutory rape and they didn't consider it trafficking, so they were not going to report it. And that was when I realized I didn't belong there and that I knew I was outside of the will of God.
When she pressed Planned Parenthood on why they were not reporting trafficking cases, Cline just got excuses.
They continued to dismiss me. I said, I do not understand your reaction. Why are you not taking this seriously? And one of the older nurses raised her hand and she said, honey, if she's not with this man this month, she'll be with another one next month. And
she quit in 2009. And today, 10 years later, Cline is boldly exposing Planned Parenthood's sexual education strategy.
When you can dehumanize our children and you can take the value and the sacredness out of sex and you take the sacredness out of life.
The former Planned Parenthood volunteer turned pro-lifer launched her group, It Takes a Family, to directly counter the abortion industry's tactics.
The number one thing that Planned Parenthood always said to me is that parents are a barrier to service. So in other words, anytime a parent finds out that their child is coming to a Planned Parenthood, that parent will stop their child from coming back to the clinic. So the only good parent to a Planned Parenthood is a parent who believes the same ideology that Planned Parenthood believes.
This expert says Planned Parenthood wants to replace the parent when it comes to sexual education, which is why her new goal is to empower parents instead.
Because parents are afraid to talk to their children about sex, or because it feels awkward, or they've come to believe that it's inappropriate to talk to their children about sex, or they just don't know how to do it, they've decided to take a passive stance and not speak at all. So now Planned Parenthood does the speaking, the media does the speaking, their peers do the speaking, and all to the detriment of their children. So what I do is I equip and strengthen parents so that they are their child's primary educator, and that they're the ones that are speaking life into their children instead of someone else.
Thank you, Monica Cline, for sharing your insight with us.